think it's time to rock and roll.
Yes.
Let's go.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, Ian. I'm so excited to hear what's going on because I hear there's lots of changes in your life.
Yes, there have been. Thank you guys for
So,
having me again. It's
Yeah.
lovely to see you as always.
thank you.
Here we are, the end of the month, end of the year, or first of the month, end of the year. Start of the new year coming up.
Yeah.
A lot of
So, tell us what it is that you're doing now because I mean, I don't even know what you're doing as far as your nutritional coaching and everything. So, tell us what's going on.
So for the last 7 months, I was actually entered back into more of the corporate world and got back into with a sales job, and I was just trying to stabilize myself here in California. Still was doing a small amount of coaching, but a lot of my time was redirected to the regular 9 to 5 Monday through Friday gig, and I just found on the weekends I was just too exhausted to dive into a bunch of posts or answering emails, and I was just found myself exhausted, and so I started noticing a lot of things coming up as far as not working in an area or an environment that really felt deep down in my core that I was doing something that I was like my purpose, I guess. I didn't feel like I was showing up to work, but I wasn't fully present. My mind was wanting to be back in the health and wellness space.
That's hard.
Yeah. So it was there was nothing like. I wrote a post the other day that it was there's nothing like working a job that's outside of your purpose to get you back on your purpose, and that's exactly what it did. Is I noticed all the feelings coming up of just not feeling congruent, and so I kind of had things were coming to an end with the job, and just decided to go back into what I love, and that is applying myself to or just fully committing to the coaching, and also back to creating videos and doing more one-on-one private coaching, as well as opening things up for groups and retreats here in California. So we're looking at creating a rebuilding retreat where it encompasses more of the rebuilding side rather than the detoxification. So this would be for somebody who's looking at maybe building up their body, all based around plant and herbs, plant-based eating and taking herbs, and of course get a little bit of exercise in there, the mindset and all of that. So that's what I'm up to now. This is all very new. It's all maybe less than 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Decided to kind of move forward in this direction, and I'm still kind of working through all the logistics of everything, but I'm just taking it day by day and just taking action, doing the things that sometimes maybe feel a little uncomfortable, like making videos or committing to posts and answering emails, and doing those things. I love all of those things. It's just sitting down and doing it, so
Right.
taking the action steps. So that's what I'm up to. And with
Are
the end of, what's that?
Sorry, are you partnering with somebody, or is this just your baby?
Just doing solo right now. With the retreats, that'll be something that there'll be other people involved with the retreats. Because we'll be looking at. We have all the resources here in California, so we have access to local farmers who grow high vibrational food. We have of course, the sunshine and the beaches, all the meditation space and exercise space, all the good food. So we have all the resources here, and now it's just a matter of putting the pieces together. And so, looking at doing that sometime in maybe just after spring, so a couple of months to get all the pieces together, and then we'll announce the dates and have the signups and everything. But going to be more geared around more of the rebuilding phase. So
That's really good because a lot of people, once they get past the tearing it down, they don't really know where to go and how to rebuild. You know, so
yeah,
that'll be good. That'll be good for a lot of people.
that's the idea, is to give people a different angle, something new that they can work on. Maybe take a break from, if you've been going down the detox road and lost a lot of weight and done a good level of healing, then you can go and do a little bit of the rebuilding and then come back to the detox and go back to rebuilding. So what I'd really like to do is show people some of the tools that you can implement in while you're working through your detox and healing, and kind of working both angles.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you. So there's been a lot of new things that have come up since we last spoke. I think I was just I'd only been out here for a few months.
You just moved.
Yeah, matter of fact, I think you were moving into your apartment.
Yeah.
It was very, so how has that move been?
It's been great. This last year, just reflecting on my birthday a couple of days ago, was just reflecting on, the last year of being here. And so many things have happened. A lot of growth has taken place, a lot of personal and spiritual growth. Had a lot of breakthroughs, and then with this job coming to an end from the last 7 months of being involved with that and going back into what I love, it's been so many changes out here. All good though.
Good.
All good. Just
Good.
keep growing and moving forward. And there's so many. When I look at my own life and some of the challenges I've been through in the last 12 months, done a lot of moving around, a lot of shifting, entered back into the workforce. And, I think when I speak to people and coach people, I have a lot of patience, because the things that I've been through and the challenges that I've been through as well, it's not always life sometimes throws us some challenges and some hurdles, there's some detours on our journeys that can take us in all different directions. But always coming back to what feels light, what feels good, and just staying in alignment with ourselves is the most important thing. And
that's an extremely important statement right there.
Yeah.
And that actually means a lot to me right now because I'm in a transition. So thank you. That statement does. I mean, we just get so, distracted with everything that we're going to, on to the next thing. And we forget about, okay, well, how am I doing now? And am I doing what I need to do to keep myself where I am now, physically and mentally? So
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's just keeping yourself focused and staying, just keep checking in with yourself and noticing what feels heavy and what feels light, and trying to just go with what feels lighter, what feels more true for you.
Absolutely. Are you doing, or have you started doing any seminars, free seminars at a health club, or?
That's a good question. I've done a few talks out here in San Diego. We actually created a group called Elevated Awareness, and this group is two of my other good brothers out here in San Diego. One of them is a yoga instructor. The other one is actually more of he is studying to be a yoga instructor, but he's very well. He's more of a musician, and he plays. He's created tracks. Music tracks that he plays along with the yoga classes, and he also plays live instruments there. So I have guitars and a couple of other instruments that he brings in and actually plays during the yoga class. So with this Elevated Awareness group, what we created is we've created a workshop where we implement in the yoga for movement, followed by a little bit of some oils, some like doTERRA oils, some essential oils to enhance the experience. And then we've integrated in the music component as well as like the nutritional side. So I'll talk a little bit about nutrition and a little bit about health and some of those areas, the rebuilding, things like that. And then we usually invite in a guest speaker that covers a certain topic for that month. And so I've been doing that. We've taken a break for the month of December, and then we'll be kicking back up our 2017 gigs here in January. So
is this just a local group for you then, or is this, do you bring it into Facebook?
Well, we haven't. We're actually going to be getting together on Friday to discuss our new year and what we want to do and how we want to bring this out. Because we've traveled around California to a couple of places to do it, but what we're looking at we're going to talk about the next steps and Facebook and having all of these new tools with Facebook Live, and there's so many great opportunities that we can share the experience with.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see that on Facebook Live, like the music, and if you did like just a snippet of the session, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I don't know how. I personally have not used Facebook Live yet, so I'm going to I see
easy.
people's videos, and I think it's time that I actually do that. So I'm going to maybe do that today or tomorrow for the first time.
Excellent.
Good.
And, I can feel a little bit of the fear coming up of like, okay, but it's so good because when I coach my clients and talk to people, I say, when the fear comes up, when anxiety comes up, that's a good sign. Let you know you're going in the right direction, and that's time to just push through it and hit the gas. So here I find myself reflecting and taking my own advice, and saying, okay, Facebook Live, this is a new thing for me. So
absolutely, and the first one will be your worst one.
Yeah,
and it will still be awesome.
It'll still be
because you have
love
information people don't have.
Exactly. And the thing of it is most people won't do it because they're scared. But when they see other people do it, they're like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. And, they are willing to do that and they're willing to share that information.
You just have fun with it. I mean, I've made YouTube videos where I've played guitar, on the camera and sang where I wasn't even in tune, So
oh my gosh.
I've done some videos like that. So I just need to get myself back into the fun mode, because
absolutely,
it's all about, at the end of the day, it's about putting out some information. I love what you guys are doing with the videos and sharing the message with people. It's so important. We need more of it. And for me, getting back into the space, it's just getting out of the anxiety and the fear of the ego saying, well, what are they going to think about you? Well, who cares? Just get out there and we all have a unique gift that we're here to share with the world, and let that genius come out and be okay if it doesn't go perfect. It's all right, and that's what's coming up for me with this Facebook Live. But I am going to do it, and I'm sure
we're holding you to that.
Thank you. Yes, this video.
That's right.
There's no getting around it now.
It's going out to the world.
This is going out to the world, young man. You better
that's right. So you can set the example for others.
Yeah. That's I talk about it a lot with my coaching clients, and help them to overcome or bust through the sticking points and those barriers, and then, but we all need a coach. We all need even coaches need coaches. So. Right now, and I'm actually, interviewing a few people who I'm interested in having coach me. I've never had a coach that, not a one-on-one coach that I'm committed to. So I'm actually in the process of looking for a coach as well.
Excellent.
So here we find ourselves. The end of the year is right around the corner, first of the year, and a lot of new things coming up. So
That'll be
so
really awesome to
Yeah.
show people, that, and I think that's something that people don't really realize, that just because, we're sharing things and we're coaching people and clients, that we still need to be coached too. We still need somebody to be our coach and keep us accountable. So I think that's
Absolutely.
awesome. I'm definitely looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
I'm going to send you some links to some mastermind groups.
Okay.
And I'm involved in a mastermind group now, and we're going to start doing seminars in January. So it goes from everything from finance to health to exercise to the whole gamut, the whole wide. And this will be recorded and put on, it'll probably be Facebook Live and recorded and put in video on Facebook and YouTube. And David, the guy who's my mastermind, he's heads a mastermind group, and I direct a show on public speaking. He was on the show. That's how we got to know each other. And now I'm starting to build a mastermind group. He's my mentor for my mastermind group, and he's hooked with people in California that I will send you to.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah,
And,
that'd be great.
So and you're more than welcome in our group too. It's just that we kind of meet local, but you can listen to David's stuff. He's with people that are making so much money. It's incredible. And he was bankrupt twice. And in a year and a half, one of his businesses does over $20,000 a month, and another one does, I think it's 18. It might be 22,000 a month.
Wow.
Okay, and he came from bankruptcy, but he got hooked in with these mastermind groups, and they teach you. These are multi-millionaires that have programs, right? And so David's helping me put together a program. He's kind of guiding me. I ask questions, and then I have to do videos. That's why I'm doing this fast. I need it, for one thing. So it's a great motivator. But I'm filming it and putting together a program that we can put on the internet. And so now with the mastermind group, my book is being written in Spanish. It's getting ready for a Kindle. So there are tons of things that we can help you do to get your name and your word out there. Other than this great show right here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's great, Gary.
And that's what I want to do. That's my goal, is to create a system where if you're interested in really doing this, and which I know you are, I'm speaking general here. If you're interested in doing it, I'm going to build a program where you can plug into, get the information, and create your own program and go do your own thing. That's really what the world needs.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little bit of guidance on that.
Yes.
And, because, so many people out there, including myself, have ideas, that of how we can help the world or help ourselves. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just taking that first step, not knowing, sometimes it's just not knowing or having a little bit of guidance to just get the ball rolling. So I think that's really great on what you're doing. And, I would love to support you in any way that I can, and also be a part of it in any way that I can.
Oh yeah, well you can jump in. We just have to I have to get my part done, and then I'm going to open it up to the health community and see who's interested and who isn't. But the whole premise of it is that we don't need to be starving. We need to detox, but we don't need to financially starve.
Right.
I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that is a system that is way overdue. People need to not eat so much and clear their bodies. And that's, you are a perfect example of that, Ian.
Thank you.
You were a lot larger.
Yeah.
and now you're in shape. And
Yep.
people need to see that and know that it's possible, that they don't have to be sick.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's something to be. I can just recall back on when I was 75 pounds heavier. I was up around
Hmm.
245, and I was eating 4,500 calories a day, and I
Wow.
didn't feel sick. I didn't feel like there was a lot going on until I started to clean out, and then it was like the light bulb went off, and I started noticing I had more energy, and my blood pressure went down, and the sugar metabolism thing started to disappear, and things started to actually stabilize. So, a lot of times if like I didn't even at 245, I didn't feel like I was overweight. So
Hmm.
when I look around and talk to people that say um, that they feel healthy, they don't feel like there's any real challenges going on. But if you look at the scale, and it's saying that we're overweight, whether it's 15 or 75 pounds or 100 pounds or whatever, we know that the scale's given us an indicator of something's going on internally. It could be a glandular problem, it could be an overeating problem, it could be a lot of different things, stress, emotional eating and stress. And but one thing's for sure is when we start to clean out little by little, things start to we start waking up and feeling better. So yeah, that's uh, for me, as far as the personal transformation of losing that weight and getting down to a much skinnier place than where I'm at now. I was at 170 when I first going from 245 to 170 was such a radical shift.
Right.
And
So
yeah, that was
how was that for your clothes? For your wardrobe? How did
not
that
not.
go?
I went from a 36 waist to a size 29, and
Holy
Wow.
cow.
yeah, and now I'm between a 30 and a 32 now because I'm weighing about 190 now. And
Hmm.
for myself personally, I did the fully 100% raw, no fat for 2 years almost, and then I started introducing in a little bit more fats, and my weight went up just a little bit more to about 190, and so now I stay around 190. I eat a little bit more fat.
Hmm.
Um, but my clothes, I've had to tailor some clothes from the 245 to the 170, and then in between it's like what I get now. I mean, shirts, I used to always wear a large shirt. Now it's like
Hmm.
a medium shirt, and everything's changed. It's
When you say fat, what do you mean?
when I
When you say
for
fat?
oh, fats for eating.
Yes.
So what I like to do personally, the way I start I can give you a run through the day, but
Yeah.
for fats, I look to avocados, coconut meat, and I did hemp seeds for a little while. I was adding hemp seed hearts on
Hmm.
salads and stuff. I haven't been doing that lately in the last year. Really haven't had any, but I don't really do nuts or seeds unless it's like a special, dish for friends or somebody transitioning, or I'm working with a coaching client. Then we'll go into pine nuts or cashews or something like that. But for me, I stick to the fats at night. Always start the morning, usually between 4 and 5 a.m. with the GI broom. That's the first
Oh,
thing. I go with GI broom in the morning,
Hmm.
followed by 32 ounces of orange juice that I squeeze at night. And then I'll go into my next meal, which is this guy right here, which is a smoothie, bananas and figs and dates
Hmm.
and a little superfood powder and some ginger. So I'm always switching up the smoothies, but that'll be the big breakfast, and then I'll usually go into like maybe a couple of apples, and after that that'll put me up around lunchtime, 12 between 12 and 2. May have some dried, like some superfoods like goji berries or mulberries or some kind of mixed berries.
Hmm.
And then for my afternoon meal, 3 to say 5 or something, is when I'll have my bigger meal, which will be usually a large salad with the avocados, or sometimes I'll use coconut meat and make a dressing, with the coconut meat. So I get the fats on there, and the salad will just be a large salad lots of different variety of vegetables with usually sprouts or of some sort. Um, and then some dulse. I love dulse. I actually put dulse. This is kind of this is maybe a tip for some people who like to do smoothies. Because one thing about smoothies is generally unless you're using like some cordyceps or something like that, where you're getting some good minerals. I like to use it just a little bit of dulse, like just if you get the dulse flakes, you can use just a little sprinkle, or if you have the regular dulse, you can just a little dab, just a little bit, and it helps if you're using just bananas and dates or something like that, or some berries. It usually covers up. You don't even taste the dulse, but you get the minerals, from the dulse. So I started doing that a couple of years ago, and I put dulse on the salads and just try to flood the body with minerals as much as you possibly can. If you have access to sugarcane juice, that's a really great mineral-rich beverage.
Yeah, and it's conductive too.
Very,
so
very.
When it goes in the body, you generate electricity with the hydration and the minerals.
And it's high level too. We've got some guys out here, Barry Coral and Chad. Chad and Barry, some of the other guys. We've got access. Chad's actually got a sugarcane machine, so he actually goes and gets the sugarcane, and he'll bring that to some of the events, and trying to get it into farmers markets, and doing that. But Chad's actually done a fast on sugarcane juice and coconut water with lemon, and he said that he's had some very, very profound, like just some high levels of healing with that. He said he's pulled out stuff that is just, and his mental, the mental state of it, because of all the high content of minerals in there. It's just it's like the or what would you call that, the vibrational energy, I guess, in the food. It's higher vibrational food. So yeah.
He does an enema with coconut meat.
Who's that?
Did you say he did an enema with coconut
meat? No, he did. He's coconut water with sugarcane juice.
Okay, got it.
And that would be, I don't know that that's
like,
good.
How's that gonna work? You never know, though.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, people have done coffee, so
exactly.
Coffee, heal all tea. There's all kinds of things that people have tapped into. So, but the sugarcane juice, I hear, I know just from drinking smaller amounts. I've never fasted on it, but what's interesting is I believe it's 30% sugar, something like that. 30% sugar. The rest is all minerals and hydration, and the higher, just the water content of it. But 30%. But the name sugar cane, with sugar in there, people are very because of the word sugar. A lot of people don't touch it, or are afraid of it. So
I find it interesting. People be having a cup of coffee or an Arizona iced tea and a donut, and tell you that fruit will kill you because it's full of sugar.
Yeah, I know. It's
that's the writing on the walls.
Yeah.
Right up here. It's
conditioning too. These daily habits and stuff, and some of the brainwashing stuff that we've been conditioned to buy into with the sugar, the whole sugar. Behind the whole sugar deal is there's so many misconceptions there.
In everything from the sun to grounding to the earth, the food we eat. It's like, how low can we get the battery of a body before it actually passes, so that we can work with that body? Not us, but I'm talking about the American Medical Association. Between healthy and dead is profit.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yep.
It's sad.
Yeah.
So, Ian, I know with clients of mine and friends, they're more so guys, because they are like, well, I don't want to lose my size. If I'm going to lose weight, I don't want to do this. And what can you say to them, since you've been down that road, and say that they're personal trainers and, it's part of their job, career to, look big and beefy and whatnot, what do you say to them?
Are you speaking to more of the mainstream type of
Sure. Yeah.
personal trainer?
Bodybuilders and
Well,
stuff.
yeah, bodybuilders, but I mean, even the average person who's, into fitness, they don't want to lose their size, but they do want to, they're dabbling in the detoxification. How do you explain to them that that's just part of the process? And
Yeah.
what do you say to your
Well,
clients?
I believe that the healthier that you are physically, combined with a sound mental diet and just having a good understanding of everything, the more able or more open you are to receive the information from your higher self that we need to live the highest possible at the highest possible level and vibration that while we're here. And detoxification is a piece of the puzzle that going when you so if you're just a regular trainer or just somebody in the world that hasn't actually gone down that road yet, I think going into detoxification and just doing some surface cleaning and some rebuilding, some regenerating, you're most definitely going to lose a little bit of weight in the beginning, because what we're doing is flushing out the body, flushing out the fat cells, keeping a very low to no fat in the diet while we're detoxifying the body. And so naturally you're gonna it's like wringing out the sponge. So you're like cleaning out and getting rid of all the excess debris and buildup. And then the rebuilding process is so much more fun, because what happens is, we're improving digestion, we're improving absorption or assimilation, so we can absorb the maximum amount of nutrition and be able to utilize all of those items, and then eliminate properly. So the body just starts to work more efficiently. You don't have to eat as much. You absorb all the nutrition, and then what happens is that because you don't have to eat as much, you're getting all this nutrition, your body will start to go through some changes and respond differently to exercise, to sleep, and all these things start to change a little bit. And then what happens is you start to rebuild your body, your platform, or you have more of a stronger foundation to rebuild back up. And that's what happened with when I was going through that whole transformation and got down to 170. It was the skinniest I'd been since high school. And I remember Robert Morris saying that you're gonna have to get comfortable with getting skinny before you can rebuild. It's just part of the process. And but one thing's for sure is that when you get to that point and you've done that, you've gone through that initial weight loss, and you've flushed out the body and done some regenerating. When you start to rebuild back, you're going to have so much more fun, and that muscle that you build is there to stay. And it's so true. I no longer go back and forth. I mean, my weight fluctuates a little bit, or my body fat does a little bit, but there's no question, like the muscle that you build when you're clean, and you build your body back up, it's there to stay. It's good quality, healthy tissue and muscle, and recovery is much, much quicker, and it's a better experience, in my opinion. And so,
Did you have any healing crises while you were going through what you were doing, while you were through your detox?
oh yes, I did. I had, in the beginning, I think it was, well, the very beginning, before, when I was just starting to use the herbs and to take I was going on high raw and higher fruit. I went through about a 2-week period where I think I had a bike race, I think is what it was. It's 2012 or 11, something like that. And I did a bike race. Entered a bike race and I ate nothing but grapes and coconut water and grapes. I ate
Mm-hmm.
two big bags of grapes, and that was my fuel for this 10-mile bike race. After that race, I started sneezing over and over and over again, and nose was running, and all this mucus just came pouring out, and that went on for about 2 weeks. I
I
had a
remember
fever.
your post on this. I remember reading this.
It was a wild experience. I'll never forget it because it was the first time that I actually said I understood what it was. I didn't go and take over-the-counter medication or treat the symptom. I actually just went through it, and I let it just kind of take its course. And I laid in the bed and took a rest, and drank a lot of water, took the herbs, and 2 weeks later, kind of come out the other side. And that's when I was losing a lot of weight. So there was, who knows? I mean, I don't know how much mucus came out, but a lot of it. There was a lot of mucus coming out all ends, and it was like, wow.
So what would you say to somebody that was having an issue, whether it was skin or mucus or whatever, and they're just starting to detox, they get scared? Because there's so much fear out there when something goes wrong with your body. What would you say to help them through that?
Well, the first thing that's a great question too, by the way. I think when the fear comes up and the anxiety comes up, it's good to have enough information before you begin your journey, so you can kind of be prepared mentally for what's around the corner. And if you haven't taken time to do that, and you find yourself in that situation where you're feeling the fear and the anxiety come up, am I doing this right? Because there's so much information out there. I would encourage you just to hang on and sit there in that place for a little bit of time, and just do a little bit of breathing and some meditation, and calm yourself down, and maybe even do a little creative writing, because writing things down is always a really great thing, a good tool to implement in, especially during detox, because it gives you something that you can reflect back on 6 or 12 or 15 weeks in. You can look back and see how far you've come, and you have something that you can measure, what's happened, write about it, post about it, blog, video. That's always a good way that I found to be able to get the fears and anxieties kind of under control by talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But also allowing yourself to sit with it for a little bit too, to really let it, the impact sit in, and you really feel it, and I think that's an important part of personal growth and development and detoxification is when the emotions come up and we're working these things out. It's so important to allow ourselves to sit with that for a minute, because we're always looking for a pill or medication or something to kind of to lessen the impact of what we're experiencing. And so part of detoxification, I think, is just going in, and these things are going to come up, allowing them to come out, getting enough rest, getting enough meditation, spending enough time. It's like rediscovering the love for ourselves, and being kind and gentle and patient with ourselves too. So that would be my best advice, is to creatively write, journal, make videos, get the message out there, share your story, and then just sit in those moments when you have those anxieties and fears, and really start to notice where you're feeling it. Take some deep breaths and do some meditation.
So, what do you tell your clients who are wondering when they're done? When are we done with detoxification, and when is it time to rebuild? Because I know that's something that comes up. They're like, well, am I done? I've done 2 weeks, or I've done 2 months of this. Am I done now?
Yeah. That's a good question too, because detoxification is something I believe that most of us are not doing this as kids. We're entering into detoxification as adults, and some of us have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of poor habits, and doing things to our body that don't really serve us. And so the answer to that is rather than thinking about it as a system, or like this is a 30-day protocol or a 12-week program. Those are great. The programs, we need those because it gives us a guide. But thinking about it more as a lifestyle, like this is just part of our way of being here on this planet, and being at the highest possible level in vibration while we're here. because we do have 20, 30, 40 years or more of doing things improperly. And so why not spend the rest of our time here really improving our health and being operating at the highest possible level and vibration, So I think detoxification is just is a wonderful tool that we have, and all the herbs and all the amazing things that people are doing on Facebook with the Master Fast and Cleanse and Robert Morris's protocols, and everything works. It's all here to help us on our journey, and it's nice to have a variety. Gives us a lot to play with,
Sure.
And but I believe it's an ongoing thing, and how we choose to enter detoxification. It can be a 12-week program. It could be a 30-day protocol. You could do it every 2 weeks. You can, however you want to tackle it is up to you. And the results can be sped up by doing fasts and things like that. But everybody's got a different lifestyle and different things going on. So some people can only commit to 2 weeks at a time, and 2 weeks a month or something like that. But I think every step that we take is putting us closer to that feeling better, raising our energy and our vibration. So I think it's an ongoing thing.
So when you were talking rebuilding, and that's kind of what your focus is now, are you still talking detoxification with them in the process of rebuilding?
Yeah, I think I look at detoxification as just something that I build into my lifestyle. So I do a lot of intermittent fasting, and I do a lot of liquids through the day. So I'm kind of always working the detox on some level. And when I work with my clients, I like to also encourage them to have the similar approach, to where you don't have to be so regimented. Like if you're going to commit to a real true detox like the Master Fast or Cleanse or something, you want to keep things very precise and very linear. But when you're building out more of a lifestyle, you can still do like the water and the lemon in the morning, and take some herbs through that. GI Broom, even if you're not on a full detox protocol, so you could still take GI Broom in the morning. Doesn't hurt you. If anything, it helps to just kind of keep things going. So I like to build in certain things like the GI Broom, take care of the digestive system, take care of the glands, and no matter where I'm at through the year, I'll still stay on somewhat of I'll keep adrenal formulas in, or I'll take herbs, through the year, over the months, and just kind of work that in as part of my lifestyle. So,
do you find that the GI Broom, if you're not eliminating, 2-3 times a day, that can pose an issue for people?
Yeah, if I think in the beginning it can be, if you're not having a lot of elimination happening, then going to one of those formulas that, like the higher, like the number 4 formula, stomach and bowel number 4. Yeah. Plugging in something like that to go ahead and get things moving, have a colonic or do some enemas, I think are great tools to get things moving regularly. And I've worked with people who have, had in situations where it's been 2, 3, 5 days of not going. I had one girl who was 2 weeks of not going, and we got her on the highest stomach and bowel formula, and it was like, it took 2 days, but for her to get going. But when things started moving, it was like that was it. So then it's just staying hydrated down there and getting more alkalizing foods and hydrating foods in, and staying on colonics and stuff like that. Right. But once things start moving regularly, you can get on that GI, and it really works well. There's so many great herbs that are in there.
Yeah, I found personally that you don't want to be doing too much fasting when you're taking the stomach and bowel, because there's nothing to push it through. And I'm like, I'm taking number 3 and 4 together, and I mean,
wow.
that is what I needed to take to get me to go like 3 times a day at
Both
one point.
Together.
And then together.
Okay.
I was not having success with 3 or 4 alone, but when I put them together, it was like magic. But okay. I was also drinking enough liquid. Well, then I started to do some fasting, and I'm like, well, why am I not going? What is the deal? And I'm like, oh, well, kind of needs liquid to keep things moving. And so, yeah, learned an important lesson there, too.
Well, that's good to know. So you mix the 2 formulas, 3 and 4 together.
I did.
I never thought about doing that.
Yeah, me
'Cause
either. And I was like,
there's subtle differences there with the moving components. So that's interesting. That worked.
it did. It was
Sometimes
really
that
good.
sometimes that those stronger formulas are once you start to get things moving, they could be too much.
Right. Yeah.
So having a 3
And
and maybe a 4 formula could be a better combination.
and it did after I was using it a little while. I was like, okay, it's more like almost getting to be diarrhea type, and I'm like, okay, that's not what we want, but at
Yeah,
least I was getting me to go, more frequently. So,
that's
and then
great.
cutting back on them, just knowing that you don't have to take them 3 times a day, or you don't have to take 3 of each 3 times a day. Just kind of playing with them, which is
Yeah,
the nice part about the herbs.
that's a good point too, and I think it's good for people to know that it's okay to just because it says take 3 times a day, you can actually do 1 3 times a day. You can go down that to the lowest possible dose, and that's okay to do that. The 2 to 3 times, 2 capsules 3 times a day, or 3 capsules 3 times a day is what's recommended for most people. But the herbs can be moved up or down. There's no, depending on each person. So that's a good point.
Yeah, nothing's set in stone, that's for sure. We find
Mm-mm.
with each of our bodies and going through
That's right.
these things, right, Gary?
Every body is different.
Absolutely.
Right.
Chemically, we're just a bag of chemicals, and we have to find in nature what works with our body so that it can flush itself out. It's a job, right? Isn't that its job?
Absolutely.
Take what Bruce Lee said. Take what is useful to you and disregard the rest. Well, the body takes what's useful to it and eliminates the rest.
That's right. Provided the channels are open, if
Right.
you've
Right.
got the eliminative doorways open, then everything can leave the body, and that's part of the whole challenge here is getting the channels to open, and getting the lymph to actually we can stir it up with the lymphatic capsules and things like that. But if those channels those doorways aren't open, the stuff is just recirculating all through the body. So I think that's where the master fast and master cleanses are, and dry fasting as part of that whole deal. That's what I've heard a lot of. I haven't personally done any of those at all to this point, but I've heard really great stories and feedback from people of the amount of stuff that has happened quickly through implementing these master fast and the dry fasting.
Yeah.
So those are some good tools out there. There's some great tools that people have discovered in the last, I don't know, maybe year or so that really work to speed up the detoxification.
Definitely.
Do you think it's important to help people understand that they control the speed of their detox?
I think so. Yeah, because you can, from the mindset, mentally to the food, and also with fasting, dry fasting, things like that, you can totally control the speed of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a really good point for people to know, maybe watching this, that you definitely can speed it up or slow it down, and still get good results. You could slow it way down and just do some surface cleaning, where you just eating hydrating foods, and drinking plenty of getting in plenty of minerals and things like that, and still do some surface cleaning. So, and that would be like kind of slowing it way down, still getting some results from it.
Absolutely, yes. Give your body time to heal itself so that it can eliminate.
Yeah, catch up.
Well, do you have any websites or anything right now are you working on that?
I have a
For people to
website.
find you? You do? Okay.
Yep, I have a website. It's just Ian Myers Wellness, IANMYERS Wellness, wellness.com. IanMyersWellness.com.
Okay.
And then, of course, I'll be posting a lot more on Facebook now. I have a lot more free time, and going to be doing the Facebook Live. So
All right.
we'll be doing that sometime today or tomorrow. Then I have, of course, the YouTube videos. And start doing a lot more YouTube videos as well. When I start, you know, going into the new year with a lot of new ideas and tips and things like that. And my YouTube channel is under my name, Ian Myers, and I Am Wellness.
If you can send me links, I'll put them in the description.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And other than that, you know, I'm pretty active on Instagram and Facebook, the social media platforms, those two specifically, and YouTube. So,
what do you think was the most important part when you started to, okay, I'm going to detox? What do you think the most important thing was that you learned to take that first step? Because that first step sometimes is a big one.
Yeah. Well, you know what really motivated me, Gary, was just going to get a physical. And when I went in for the physical, I think I was 27 years old, 28 years old. I went in for that physical. I was going to ride a bike race with my stepdad, and doctor said I had some concerns because my blood pressure was consistently high. So I said, you know, check my heart. Let's make sure that everything's okay. They did EKGs and ultrasounds and all these different scans. Found out I was developing heart disease, and also found out that all the other things that were going on with the borderline diabetic and the sugar metabolism issues and stuff like that. I had a lot of things going on. So that was a motivating factor for me to start to. That's what prompted me to start researching and find out more about healing naturally. And when I learned that people had healed their bodies through eating more plant-based and juicing, you know, that got me inspired right there to try it. Even though I didn't like vegetables at the time, because I didn't eat a single vegetable for almost 30 years.
Wow.
And you know, at 28 years old, that was like, okay, I don't want to take medication. I know I don't want to do that. So what are the options? And when I learned about the juicing and plant-based eating, it was like, okay, I have to figure out a way at how to get vegetables in because I don't like them. And through the daily juicing habit, that changed my taste buds and started to actually enjoy vegetables. So I think taking that first step, you've got to find something inside of you that motivates you to do something, to make a change, whether it be, you know, being overweight and you have some health challenges. You know, maybe it's heart disease or high blood pressure, something like what I experienced. Whatever it is, it's got to be something that's a deep enough. There's got to be enough pain there, stirred up, that gets you out of your comfort zone and willing to take action. So you actually take the steps forward to make things happen. Because otherwise, you know, we'll just think about something and not actually fully commit to it. There's not enough pain there to actually want to dive into it and take it on. But when you get a diagnosis of something, and you know, and you have a real desire to live a healthy life, you know, something inside of you feels motivated. I think that's where that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where the magic starts.
Do you feel that a lot of your diet, as far as what you were eating to body build, the heavy meat protein, that had a lot to do with your heart issue diagnosis?
I think there's a lot of components there. Definitely the way I was eating, the heavy meat, heavy meats. I was eating enough protein to feed a small family. I mean, really, I was eating 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So it's like 230, 40 grams of protein a day. And that would come from, I would literally drink liquid egg whites in the office. I had these little cartons and I would drink them out of the carton because I didn't think I was getting enough protein. I'm just like, what in the world? I mean, I look at it now and I go, God, but I see myself now and look back then. It's like so many habits were different, but it's all I knew. You know, I didn't know what I know now. And but looking back there, the heavy protein consumption, protein shakes, not having any nutrition. You know, I wasn't eating vegetables. I wasn't getting minerals. My life force energy was probably at the lowest that it could have possibly been at. You know, everything was processed. I used the microwave. Everything I heated up when I made eggs, I made them in the microwave. It's like, baked potatoes, microwave.
Hmm.
Everything was like a process. It
But
was all process.
that's what we're trained to do.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It was easy.
You know.
It was. I could eat 4,000 calories a day, and I would use the microwave. I would have things frozen, put it in the microwave, and you know that was just the way I lived. But those were some contributing factors to the high blood pressure. The other part was I didn't do any cardio. I mean, I could barely ride my bike 5 miles, and
Hmm.
now I ride my bike 30, 40 miles. You know, it's a big difference.
Big
It's
difference.
Um,
huge.
Huge
and
difference.
you know it really kicked in one day when I was flying somewhere, and I was going to weigh my bag, and I stood on the scale, and I think my weight at that time was like 175 or 180 or something. I was flying out of town, and I wanted to weigh my bag, so I picked the bag up after I weighed myself, and the bag ended up weighing like 45 pounds or 40, almost 50 pounds. And I remember just it when I put the bag down, I was like, wow, that was like I used to carry that much weight, you know?
Hmm.
And it just, when I did the math, it was like I couldn't believe it, you know? And so the whole day lugging that suitcase around, I was thinking like, I used to climb stairs, you know, I used to walk around like this with this much extra weight. Couldn't believe it. It was just, it blew my mind. So that was a pivotal moment as well. But heart disease or high blood pressure, I think the lifestyle, I was also staying up very late. My sleep habits were very poor. I was also drinking lots of alcohol back then in my 20s, and um, I was experimenting with drugs. And, you know, it was just a different time for me. It was a time of growth and experience, you know. And so I think all of those things together, high stress job, um, you know, and just not getting enough rest, and all of those factors. So, and
Two
the diet.
daughters.
What's
That
that?
doesn't. Two daughters. That
Oh
might
yes,
have
two daughters.
something to do
Yes,
with stress
yeah.
too.
There's you know, you put all this into this equation, and then maybe some genetics too. You know,
Hmm.
genetic weaknesses are also, we can eat healthy, but and eat raw, and still, you know, sometimes things pop up, tumors, or, you know, we just never know. But you know, the more we take care of ourselves and detoxify, and you know, take the do take those healthier steps, I think the less likely that we are to develop something severe. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
anything is possible, but yeah, it's you're less likely to experience something, I think, the healthier that you get.
Yep. Of course.
When
Wow.
someone comes to you, do you look at each person as an individual case and figure out the detox from there, or do you have a basic detox platform that you use?
You know, everybody is so different in where they are in their life and what they've done and what's come up for them. So every person is a little bit different. I still use a lot of some of the same principles, as far as, you know, we definitely want to hydrate, we want to
Mhm.
alkalize and detoxify. So those are, keeping those as the foundational pillars. So, you know, things like water with lemon in the morning, doing a smoothie, and maybe a green juice or a salad, you know, those are staples.
Hmm.
How much of each one of those, you know, some people can do more. Um, some people are starting on different platforms and have to be very patient. So everybody's a little bit different, but yeah, I use the same kind of parameters, as far as hydrate, alkalize, and detoxify. That's
Hmm.
always in the forefront, and then we just kind of fill it in based on where they are. So
Excellent.
just meeting them wherever they are, and if we have to go slower and work our way up, that's okay too. So 12-week programs are usually what I like to start people out with. You know, 12 weeks at the minimum, 3 months. Um, really like to work with people on a minimum of 6 months, though, because I feel like that's when the real breakthroughs start to happen.
Hmm.
But 3 months, you know, a 12-week program is usually about the very minimal, to where you start to really see some things happening and start to get a little bit of a breakthrough.
Yeah, and the detoxing the mind is important too. don't you
So
think?
important. Yes. I actually, when I first start working with people, well, they'll call for help and say, I really want help in the food area. But what we find is as we go in, after a few conversations, we're starting to get more into the mindset, and things start coming up for people. And we find that the food is just a little small piece to the puzzle. The food is important, but the mindset is really powerful, because it's either, our mindset, it can either push us closer to our goal or further away. And it all starts with how we start the day, our daily habits, the thoughts that come in and how we process them. The fear and anxiety, how do you process that? Do you just sweep it under the rug, or do you actually sit in it and deal with it and meditate on it and write about it? So
Excellent.
yeah, mindset is really powerful.
Very. Well, thank you, Ian. This is awesome. So glad to hear your updates and what's going on. And we will be looking forward to watching your live feed, or live Facebook.
Thank you, guys. It was really great to connect with you again. Nice to update, see your faces, and hear your voices live.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
And look forward to seeing what you guys are up to into this new year, and with our healing journeys, and Gary, with your all the new things you have coming up too. So yeah, let me know how I can support you both, and we support each other.
That's right. Support each other. That's the key. The future is collaboration for all businesses. Those that don't collaborate will vanish.
Yeah. Together we will rise up.
Right.
And we do, and it has to be together, because that's just the way that in unity, and we work together.
Absolutely.
So and we keep continuing to raise the vibrations on the planet through healthy eating, detoxification, and regeneration.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Love you.
Thank you.
Love you
We'll
too.
we'll definitely look forward to keeping in touch through the social media.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Gary will put your links in below too, I believe, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just send me your links, Ian.
Okay. Sure will.
All right.
Put them in.
Have a great day.
You too, guys.
Right.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Hey, everyone. This is Gary. Angie and I had such a great time interviewing Ian. And after the filming, Ian mentioned that he had 5 spots coming up for private coaching, and he has 5 spots available for his mastermind group. So if you truly want to detoxify your body and find that youthful energy that you used to have, get in touch with Ian. He is incredible at what he does, and I know he can help you. And if you want to really learn more and absorb and be able to help others, then I would suggest signing up for his mastermind group. He has 5 spots coming up for private coaching and 5 for the mastermind group. So I hope you take advantage of that. I know Ian can help so many people. So the information where you can get in touch with him is in the description below, and we will see you next time on Live Food Detox.